Let's be real here. Squidward Tentacles has always been the odd one in Bikini Bottom. He's grumpy, he's sarcastic, and he hates fun. But sometimes it seems like the only joy in life he has is hating Spongebob. And the thing is, I don't think Squidward is just annoyed. I think Squidward is deeply existentially depressed, and not in a funny, relatable meme kind of way. I'm talking emotionally stunted, creatively starved, socially isolated, and quietly breaking down behind that cash register. This video isn't just about how Squidward's life sucks, it's about why it sucks. What made him feel like this? Why does he hate everyone around him so much? And what does it say that the one time he met his dad, he turns out to be Spongebob just with a mustache? Today, we're diving into a hidden tragedy of Squidward Tentacles. And trust me, once you see the whole picture, it's kinda heartbreaking. Squidward wasn't always like this. There are moments, especially in the early seasons, where you can tell he's still trying. He practices his clarinet, he paints self-portraits, he daydreams about being a famous artist in a barrette and cape. He wants more for his life, and that's important. But somewhere along the way, something breaks in him. We go from a man with dreams to a guy who screams into his pillow because SpongeBob is breathing too loud. And the worst part? Nobody in Bikini Bottom seems to care about what Squidward needs. Not his art, not his music, not his space, and not his peace. And this leads us to what I think are the core episodes that give us a window into his mind and why it's such a dark, lonely place. Let's talk about a classic, Squidward in Clarinet Land. This episode is unhinged, in the best way. Squidward and SpongeBob share a locker at work. SpongeBob, being SpongeBob, turns it into a chaotic mess, so Squidward opens the locker and ends up falling into a bizarre alternate dimension, entirely themed around his clarinet. Sounds amazing, right? But what unfolds is a surreal descent into madness. The world is eerie and psychedelic, but Squidward is constantly being tormented. He's chased, mocked, disrespected, even inside his own mind, the place where he should feel safe and in control. And that's the key. Clarinet Land is his escape, but it's been invaded. The clarinet, his one passion, becomes a symbol of how little control he actually has over his life. He ends up screaming, "I just want my clarinet," as the world literally collapses around him. And that's not just cartoon chaos, that's a breakdown. Now jumping back to an old classic, SB-129. Squidward accidentally gets locked in the Krusty Krab's freezer and wakes up in the far future. Then he ends up in nowhere time. This is the void, an endless white space, no sound, no life, no distractions. And at first, Squidward is thrilled. He's enjoying it. No SpongeBob, no Patrick, no crabs, and just peace. But that peace turns into panic pretty fast. He starts screaming, I'm alone, echoing of the nothingness. This is one of the realest deceptions of depression and isolation I've seen in kids shows. Because of all his complaints, Squidward needs people. He needs purpose. He needs to feel seen. And in this white void, he realizes he doesn't even like his own company. That's a terrifying thought, especially when you apply it to how Squidward lives his day every day, constantly alone, constantly ignored, and constantly unfulfilled. Next up, let's fast forward one of the newer episodes. This episode introduces us to something we've never seen before, Squidward's dad. And what do we learn? Well, he's a clown, not metaphorically, literally. He's a goofy, smiling, over-the-top prankster who joins a tiny traveling circus. He loves silliness, he embraces chaos, and he's basically SpongeBob in a dad form. And suddenly, everything about Squidward clicks. His obsession with sophistication, his constant need to appear refined, his deep disdain for jokes, clowns, and childlike behavior. It's not just personality, it's a reaction. Squidward grew up under the roof of a man who probably never took him seriously. Every time he tried to play clarinet, he probably got a whoopee cushion under his chair. Every painting was probably met with a pie in the face. SpongeBob doesn't just annoy Squidward, he triggers his childhood trauma. That means every moment with SpongeBob is a reminder of the childhood that he never escaped. It's no wonder he hates fun, it's always been used against him. Now look at the perfect example of Squidward, another crucial episode. Squidward finally leaves Bikini Bottom. He moves to a gated community full of squids just like him, quiet, cultured, and artsy. For the first time, he's happy. He rides his bike, he plays clarinet, he reads quietly, and he even smiles. But after a few days, he breaks. He screams, he destroys things, and realizes the quiet isn't enough. He didn't need just order, he needs meaning. Even when surrounded by people just like him, Squidward still feels alone. That's the tragedy. He doesn't know what he actually wants, because no one ever let him figure it out. We also have to talk about the soul-crushing monotony in that Krusty Krab. Squidward works on the register. Every day, same shift, same customers, and same screaming sponge. He's not valued, he's not challenged, and he's not paid enough to listen to Mr. Krab scream about pennies and Spongebob scream about jellyfish. This is just a guy with creative ambitions stuck in a fast food hellscape with no escape plan. His only outlet is his clarinet, and even that brings him no joy anymore. He's not lazy, he's not dramatic, he just burned out. He's been told no so many times that he just stopped asking for yes. Oh yeah, and one thing I missed out is Squilliam, the rich, successful version of Squidward who has everything Squidward wants. Money, fame, luxury, and respect. But even when Squidward beats Squilliam, it doesn't help, because Squilliam isn't a real rival. He's a projection of Squidward's own failure. Squidward doesn't just want to defeat him, he wants to be him. But every time he tries to live up to that standard, he's reminded of how far he's fallen. It's not just envy, it's identity crisis. So what does all this mean? It means Squidward Tentacles is more than just a grump. He's a man, or rather a squid, who's raised by someone who didn't understand him, surrounded by people who dismiss him, working a job that suffocates him, and living in a town that laughs at his pain. And still he wakes up every day, he plays his clarinet, he still paints and tries. In a weird, kind of beautiful way that makes him Bikini Bottom's most human character. Squidward is depressed, but he's still here. And that's something to admire. Thank you for watching, and if you ever feel like Squidward, hit that like button, let me know what theory to dive next into, and remember, even if you feel like Squidward now, you're one step away of finding your own Clarinet Land. Just maybe not in the locker kind. And if you're a clarinet enthusiast, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.